see that last time. Anyways, yeah, I'm Jimmy. I'm not one of the usual suspects here. It's funny, on the way here today, my son, he asked me, he said, Dad, are you nervous? I said, no, I'm not really nervous. Like, I've done this before, Again, yeah, I hope I can make a little bit of sense and help us understand who God is and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not really nervous. But he kept going. He's like, what about Trent? Why isn't Trent? I don't think Trent's going to be here. He had something shipped to me, to bring to the church. So I don't think he's going to be here. Well, what about Aaron? Can Aaron do it? And I'm like, geez, dude. I'm like, no, I think Aaron's going to go to Kings Island with the kids. I think, they're just kind of, they're in a pinch a little bit, and hopefully I can help them out. He's like, well, what about Alicia? And I'm like, geez, dude, like, I'm going to be okay. So anyways, again, but if this is your first time here or you're watching online for the first time, I don't do this all the time. So if I'm terrible, don't judge this place based on me. So give it another chance. But again, I did this in the first service as well. Something I just needed to say out loud, and I hope maybe some of you guys need to hear this too. It's still summer, right? Those of you that are working in schools, it's still summer. Don't open the email, the welcome back email. There's still some things that we can do, still some trips to take. I know we went to the Indiana Dunes last week. It was cool in Lake Michigan. Again, earlier this year, we were able to go to the beach. Anybody take a beach trip? I was just talking to Matt. He's got his hand up back there. They just went to the beach, had a good time. I love the beach. I don't get sick of it. I could go and just sit there all day, look at the waves, the wind, sun. I love it. Stephanie and I, we go to the beach about every year. I mean, we went out west and didn't make a beach trip once. I went to Yellowstone, Grand Tetons. Love that. It was awesome. But about every 2-3 years, we go on a beach trip with her side of the family. So my family now too, 17 years. We celebrated yesterday, Stephanie and I, our anniversary. So, but in that, so yeah, okay. Again, don't clap for me, clap for her. She's the one that really needs to clap for it. She's the one that does the heavy lifting in our relationship. But again, 17 years, we've done this beach trip, and we've always gotten condos at a place. It's got a pool, stuff for the kids to do, and then we meet up and hang out. It's an awesome time. This year, they decided to get a house. Okay, so like 30-some people in one house. I was like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to work out, right? But it ended up working out great. We're really excited about it. They were sharing the pictures of this house. It was a newer house, newer construction. Had a pool, hot tub, tiki bar. There were grills. The views were amazing. It was on the Outer Banks, and there were the wild horses, right? There were pictures. You get to see these wild horses, and it was awesome. And, we paid for it, and put half of it down, whatever it was. And then we got to reading a little bit closer, and it said that you have to have a four-wheel drive vehicle to get to this place, okay? Anybody ever been to one of the Outer Banks where you have to get off the paved road and drive on the beach? And so you have to do this. And, it was like, threw us a curveball because some people didn't have four-wheel drive, but we worked it out and figured out, how we were going to get down there. And but it was something that we were kind of worried about, a little anxious about. There were some things that you had to do. You had to deflate your tires to 20 pounds of pressure. They said don't stop, right? Don't stop on the sand. No stopping at all. And I'm like, wonder why? If I stop, I'll get stuck. I mean, no one was really telling me what was going on. We're just reading these rules and things that to follow. And so as we get there, it's starting to rain. Okay, so visibility's a little bit harder to see. Again, we get on there and then you don't stop. And to the left, sand dunes, right? The dunes. To the right, we have the water. High tide is coming in. I knew that. I didn't know how much beach we would have, but we were trying to check in and get to our place. Are we even going to make it? Like all this stuff. I'm seeing cars that are stuck. So I'm like, it really can't happen. You can get stuck. But we go for miles, and we can't go fast. It's taking us forever. But finally, we get to the point, and the GPS is saying make a left. Stephanie's kind of navigating that and telling me what to do. So we make a left. We start to go, and I'm like, but where? Where do we go? There's just these dunes. She's like, it just says go left. I was like, okay. It looks like we have a spot here, and I go, and there were these like these two wooden things sticking out that looked like maybe it was like a driveway or a roadway. So we go. I listen to my wife. She's done well to help me to this point. And we go in up over this dune, and there is nowhere to go, just more dunes. And I'm like, oh no, what are we going to do? So I drive, I try to turn, and I'm like, oh no, we're not supposed to stop. How can I keep going? But finally I stopped, and I think my mother-in-law, she's like, you're not supposed to stop. And I'm like, we're going to sink. Like, but we get out of there, and we pile up out of there, Dukes of Hazzard back onto the beach. We locate, there was another way that we could go kind of up that dune, and we found it, and we got on the right way, on the right path, and got to the house. And again, what kind of started off as a little bit of chaos and into a dead end there at that dune ended up in a week that was just really restful, all kinds of peace. There's one morning I was down there, and there were horses maybe 50 yards away from me, and they were just kind of hanging out for like a half hour. Then they started fighting, like Discovery Channel stuff. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. Then they started running up the beach. Wow, this is awesome. I got my phone here. And then they kind of turned towards me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be funny or awesome or something, or I'm going to get hurt. But anyways, they didn't run into me, but it was a pretty cool moment. A lot of rest, a lot of peace during that trip. Again, we have this road trip message series looking through the book of Ephesians. It's been great. We see that we're chosen by God. Trent talked about being a masterpiece, right? We are God's workmanship, his masterpiece. And I think about that as like this loving parent looking down at us and just seeing us as a masterpiece. And I think about the first time that I saw my daughter when she was born. It's just like, wow, I've never seen anything so great in my life. Even to this day, just looking at my kids, they're amazing. Drive me crazy sometimes, but truly love them. My son, born a few years after Maddie, just awesome stuff. Again, he's giving me the business, tell me I'm not that good, but he's a masterpiece to me. So I know last week Trent talked about just this unlimited strength and supply of power, the right fuel that we need that we get to have, that God gives to us. So, and it's important to understand God a little bit more, right? I believe that Trent talks a lot about this guy named Caesar Kalinowski and this discipleship and what it means, just kind of moving from unbelief to belief, right? To trust and understand God a little bit more, right? In all areas of our lives and what that means, and understand that the gospel, right? Grace, it is good news. And that if we're going to find our purpose, we're going to find it in who God is, and then what that means for me, right? It means for me, and then again, in turn for the people that I get to be around. I think about even that song that we just sang, right? We're called by name. We're raised up. We are God's. He is our Father that loves us. But we got to be careful, right? As we're going through life, again, my example on the beach there, we can get going in the wrong direction. We can get stuck. We can be going down the road, and it ends up taking us somewhere we don't want to be, into some chaos, into a dead end. Maybe we're going through life, and we see a road that looks good. We want to go down that road, right? Maybe that's going to get me there quicker. I'm going to try to get rid of this traffic, get out of this traffic jam. And I feel like I'm stuck. I do something about it. But I think what we need to understand that life is like that, right? We make some decisions. We get these habits and these routines and pursuits that are supposed to take us somewhere, but sometimes they lead us to a dead end, right? It's like, make sure that you work hard. Yeah, I think that we should work hard, but it's not about just our efforts, especially if we're thinking about going through life and finding purpose, like a real purpose. Grind, bleed the system, get everything you can out of it. You don't quit, sleep, what's that? Suck it up, fight through it. I was just talking to Brandon, and he was talking about his son's in a boot. It's like, suck it up. You're not hurt. He has a stress fracture. Come on, parent of the year right there, right? So I've done the same thing. So we want to have some peace in this life, and that's only going to come by knowing who God is and trusting that more and more. So again, I think these roads that promise results don't always deliver. And they can lead us to exhaustion, to emptiness, isolation, broken relationships. And again, no purpose at all, right? Or maybe just a misled purpose. And I think that's something we got to understand. Every road that we go is going to lead us somewhere. It might not be where we want it to be. right? Only one road leads to peace. Right? Every road leads somewhere. Only one leads to peace. And I think Paul does a great job reminding us of that in the book of Ephesians. And really just the way he writes his letters in general, right? He opens them up and he talks about how he wants everyone to, may God's grace and peace be on you, may mercy be on you. He talks about this grace that we don't have to do anything, we just kind of accept, we don't have to earn it. And then he always goes in and explains to them, how we're messing that up a little bit, right? There's two paths he talks about, right? The law that they're trying to follow still a little bit, all these rules and regulations and your human effort that kind of gets into the gospel a little bit, kind of mixes in there. It's that mixed grace gospel. And then the one that is truly grace, one true gospel, that is God's got us covered and he's going to do the heavy lifting for us. So again, one road ends in chaos, it's a dead end, and the other is a one-way road that leads to peace, to rest, to truly abundant life. Paul talks about this in the dead end road in Ephesians 4, starting in verse 17. It says, "So I tell you this, and insist on it in the Lord, that you must no longer live as the Gentiles do, in the futility of their thinking. They are darkened in their understanding and separated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to the hardening of their hearts." Again, that word Gentiles that's up there, we can think about the world, right? In that way, the grind, the human effort, got to make your own way, got to prove it, right? So you got grace, but you got to prove it, that you have it, that you did it the right way. You got to do all this stuff, and that. So that's kind of thing. This word futility, and you guys are probably smarter than me. I thought I had an idea what it was, but I looked it up just to make sure. Futility is this: uselessness, pointlessness, total lack of purpose and success. So futility. So the way that the world is doing it, in their useless, pointless, lack of purpose way, and the way that they're thinking, right? So that leads to that dead end road. And notice it's not just bad decisions. If you look at that verse there, they're truly disconnected and separated from the power source, from the thing that truly gives us life. I think trying to live a godly life without accepting and giving out God's grace to others, it's like trying to drive a car without fuel, right? You're not going to get it. Anybody like movies? Movie fan? I know Matt's a movie man back there. Anybody watch the movie Sling Blade? Yeah. So I want to watch it so bad. Now, you can watch clips on YouTube, but you can't watch the whole movie. Like, you can't get it from, like, Prime or anything like that. If anybody knows how to watch Sling Blade, find me and tell me. I want to watch that movie. But anyway, there's a scene, right, where Carl Childers, he's going to work at this shop, and they're trying to fix this lawnmower, and I think Junior was the guy's name. They're like, "Junior, why don't you see if Carl can take a look at that lawnmower?" And Junior's like, "I don't know what's wrong with it. I checked the points, I checked the spark plug, I put a new filter," all this different stuff he says. But Carl walks over there, Carl Tree goes, he opens up the gas can, looks in, "It ain't got no gas in it," right? So it's like, I love it. I love Sling Blade. I mean, awesome. But again, everything looks good. We're changing stuff, but we don't look for the real source. Again, our source is grace. Many of us, we want to do that. We want to move on our own power. We want to take the shot, right? We want to be the hero. We want the glory a little bit. I get that. That's just kind of the world, and we're kind of fighting against that. Again, we want to try harder, right? That's what the world says. Just try harder, right? You can do it. Suck it up. Right? You're not hurt. Get back in there. I'll try to be more patient. I'll stop losing my temper. Right? I'll do better. I'll start be more loving. I'm going to do this stuff. If you're like me, right, you heard growing up, if there was a problem, that you need to do more. Well, how's your prayer life? You just pray more. You pray harder. You pray about that. Well, you've been reading the Bible. You've been reading the Word. You need to get more. That's what's going on with you right now. Things will be better if you do that. And again, those things are good, but like that you having to do something to feel peace from God is not what Paul is telling us here. Again, we need to have more and better effort to experience this. That's what the world is saying to us. And that's not it. That's not it at all. So again, this Christian life that we live can't be done by ourselves. It's not up to us. God's the one that's going to do the heavy lifting. And we get to do it with him. It's kind of cool. So again, we can't do it apart from God's Spirit. You know, you think about that beach trip that we went on. If we wouldn't have read that fine print and we'd have pulled up to this sand, we would have been just like everybody else that I saw along the way. That tow truck, Campbell truck, they had, I don't know how many times I saw them pulling people out. Even big trucks, right? They didn't have four-wheel drive. I mean, they were buried. It was crazy. So if you're not equipped and you don't have the power source or the right thing, you're not going to get very far. My brother and I, we hike once a week in the summer. He is off on Thursdays. And again, where I work in the schools, I have time that we can get together. Through the year, sometimes it's hard, just the grind of life. But we spend a lot of time in the summer hiking, and we want to hike the Shawnee State Park Backpack Loop. I don't know if anybody's ever been out that way, but it's a 40-mile trail, and there are different campsites along the way that you can stay at overnight. And we want to do it in 2 days. So 20 miles a day, so just stay one night. My wife says that we should do it a little bit longer. It takes some extra time, but I really think that we can do it. We've done a lot of hikes. We've done a 12-mile hike here recently, and our average time was it was under 30 minutes per mile. And again, that's going up and down the hills and taking some breaks and all that stuff like that. So I think we can do it. It'd be a tall task, but I really do. But here's the thing. If we show up, right, it wouldn't matter how determined we are, how much effort we give. I'm not giving up. No quitting me. No limit soldier here, right? I'm not giving up. If I had flip-flops on and I brought just this little bottle of water, we're not making it, right? You're just not going to do it, right? Human effort and drive, it can get you some places, but it can only get you so far. It just wouldn't work, right? That perseverance, determination, it's just not going to happen. There are some things in life that we can't do by ourselves. There's some things, right? There's some mountains that we can't climb. Some things that we can't do, right? Grace, right? We can't do that. And the peace that comes from that can't be earned through our efforts. I think we got to understand that too. It's truly a gift from God. I think that we got to be careful and make sure that when God kind of gives us some signs, right? We've been doing some of the signs, right? When God gives us some of these signs, these dead end signs, we pay attention to them, right? We don't just drive through them aimlessly. Some of those signs spiritually could be, again, we're working, but we're not feeling any peace. That's not good news, right? We've got to kind of check that out. Maybe we're just so bitter. We're so bitter about something, we just can't get over it. Let me work with God. Again, we're not going to do that on our own. Maybe we're caught in this social media trap where we're this endless comparison, this cycle. We're going to do it. Maybe you're more like me, probably, like pride, self-reliance. I struggle with that. Kind of, to me, just kind of reared its head. We had a stove that was messing with us. We bought a new stove, and it was gas. And so I unhooked the old stove, got it out of there, and went to hook the new one up. And I could not get the fittings tight enough, okay? Could not get the fittings tight enough. I did the bubble test with the soap, and it's blowing bubbles. Guys, you can't leave it like that, right? It's not too bad, just a little bubble. And again, as a father and a husband wanting to take care of my family, it's like, I'm supposed to be able to fix this thing. And I was fired up, and I busted my hands. I thought I broke my thumb. I got cuts all over me. I'm trying to work on this thing. I know how to do it. But I just can't get it tight enough. And so I'm stewing. Finally, I called and scheduled a service appointment. It was supposed to be for tomorrow afternoon, but I just couldn't let it alone. Stephanie and the kids went and swam. I said, no, I don't want to go. I'm real pleasant right now. But I keep working on it. That's terrible. I'm bad. But I kept working on it. I finally got it. I did. I finally got it. And when Stephanie came back, and again, she's incredible, 17 years, I'd do it over 100 times. She's the best decision I ever made, for sure, to seek her out and ask her to marry me. So thank you, Lord. But I told her, I said, hey, I'm sorry. I apologized to her. I was like, because again, it was just kind of a chaotic situation. I'm expecting her to try to help me a little bit, and she's doing the best she can. And I told her at one point in time, because I think it's funny, but I was like, you never held the flashlight for your dad when you was a kid, did you? So it's like, of course, her dad's awesome. He went. But anyways, I apologized to her. I told her I was sorry. I said, look, this is about me. I was like, I'm supposed to be able to do this for you guys. Right? I'm supposed to do this. I want to take care of it. I didn't call anybody, ask for it. You know what I mean? It took me forever to do that. Yeah, I finally got it. But in that moment, I was reminded of what grace is and what good news is. I don't have to do that. She don't love me because I can fix the stove. I can't fix much. Right? She definitely doesn't love me for that stuff. So anyways, but again, if we become exhausted and burn out if we try to live on our own effort and not accept the help or the grace that others can give us. And the world says to do more, right? Prove yourself. But Jesus just says, follow me, right? Come to me and follow me. And I think that's the thing. Jesus doesn't present himself as one of many options, right? He's not saying, okay, hey, here's some good deals over here. I got one too, so you pick, right? He says that he is the way. So I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. Jesus is the one way, right? We got these roads. 2 roads Paul's talking about. Eventually is going to lead to dead end into chaos. But if we follow Christ and accept his grace, one way ticket to peace, to real rest, to this kingdom living. I think as Paul continues, he talks a little bit about that. You kind of back up to Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. It says, and again, he starts with this unity and being one and going in one direction, being with people, with the same kind of spirit. As a prisoner of the Lord, then, I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Now, Paul talks about peace so much. And again, this world's so chaotic. There's so many things that can go wrong. I truly crave that peace that comes from the grace that God has for us. There is one body, right? One Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. One Lord, one faith, one baptism, right? There's one way to do this. One God and Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. One. There's one way. Right? We want to try so many different things. We want to try to do so many different things. We'll try our own effort. Let's try to do it ourselves. Jesus is the way. Again, Christianity isn't just learning certain facts or certain biblical figures or checking off boxes. It's walking with Christ. It's not religion, it's a relationship. And then being able to recognize that, right? And recognize that we're not called to walk alone. I think that's one of the greatest lies that I believed at one time too, is that we've got to figure things out for ourselves. Again, I tried to do that with the stove, right? Could have had help if I just seeked out for a little bit. But that road ends in a dead end. It ends in chaos, trying to do it ourselves. Again, we have that lie destroyed because we have a unity together. Again, God never designed believers to travel alone, right? Road trips are always better together. I think even going back and looking in the Bible at Genesis and looking at the beginning, right? It says in the beginning, God created all this stuff, right? Every time he creates something, and it was good, right? If you go back and look at it, God created, he separated the light from the darkness and called the light day and the dark night. It was good. This day and that day. And it was all good. It was all good. Everything was good. When God creates people, he creates man. And he was by himself. He's like, this isn't good. We need to be together. So he created partners so we can have this community. And in the beginning, we see the family there and community starting. And the church isn't just a weekly meeting. It's a caravan, right? And we're traveling together. I know that one of the beach trips that we had, we were at Folly Beach in Charleston, South Carolina, and we had just we went and had breakfast. We kind of checked out, went and had breakfast, and we got on the road, and there were three vans, like minivans. We had just bought a minivan. My daughter was 18 months old at the time. We just traded in. My wife had a Toyota Corolla. We got a minivan. And 3 vans in a row. My father-in-law, Steve, his tire, we got a tire blowout. So we are traveling on the interstate, and they're coming together, 2 interstates, and there's this little area. There's no wall, there's no nothing, and we have 3 vans like there. And I'm like, I get out and go check on Steve, and we got to check, get this tire situated, and he has a donut, so we're going to try to do it. I go back to the van where my wife is. I was like, get Maddie out of here. Get this van off there. I don't want a car to come. I mean, it's 80 miles an hour. But again, we stop, right? When one vehicle breaks down, if you think about this church together, it's a caravan, the others stop. When someone gets lost, right, others help, right, to find them. You think about even when Jesus is talking about the things that are lost. Every time they find that lost, they celebrate. We go seek and save the lost. Right? When one person is discouraged, others are there to encourage. Again, unity isn't optional in God's plan. It is by design. And again, even Trent talked a little bit about this last week, that the fuel comes from God. Strength comes from God. And that fuel is grace. In verse 7, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 7, it talks about this. We've been given this special gift of grace. Again, it's not merely to show how we're saved, but it's how we keep walking. A car only gets so far on a tank of gas, right? We can't just keep going on it. Grace is how we keep going in life. If a car, you got to be filled it back up. And again, it's not, I got to do more, I got to read more, I got to pray more. But I think it's just recognizing the good news. Again, the Caesar Kalinowski talks about gospel fluency and recognizing the good news in all areas of life. And so, that's something that I try to do. And again, it's hard at times to see it. But I think if we step back, look at the big picture, read the fine print, we can see that there is good news. There's an author, Jeff Bridges, and he wrote a book called The Discipline of Grace. Again, that sounds like effort and work, but that's not what the book is about. It's about a daily reminder, figuring out every day, looking for grace, looking for the good news, seeing those new mercies that come every single day. And what that does is, instead of relying on our own strength, we're reminded of our need for grace. And if we're reminded of our need for grace, we can maybe see that others need it too, and then give it out, right? We have a chance that we can live a life of peace, and that we can live a life that is bringing rest and hope to people. Again, that helps me. And just like Paul highlights these 2 paths in his letters, Jesus also talks about 2 paths as well. In Matthew 7, in verses 13 and 14, he says this: "Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter it. Small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it." This life of peace, this life of rest. Jesus is inviting us to join him. And again, at the time Jesus is saying this, he's speaking to the Jewish people that are following this Old Testament law. Now, again, looking at all the rules for the beach and making sure that we were driving safe, there were so many different things, but there weren't 613 things that I had to remember to drive on that beach. But that's how many rules are in that Mosaic law in the Old Testament. 613. And they're broken up, right? There's 248 things that they say, you do this, right? Do this, do this. There are 365, don't do this. So it's not do's and don'ts, right? Jesus is trying to tell us that wide path is full of all these do's and don'ts. That say, if you live by the law, then you die by the law. You got to follow all of it. If you break one law, you die with it. Jesus is offering us an invitation for real rest and real peace. I love, a bit later in Matthew chapter 11, when Jesus truly is calling us to that invitation. He says this, and he's a little bit like Trent last week talked about when everybody's busy and tired, right? Busy and tired. You see that all the time. Jesus says, are you tired? Worn out? Burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. Notice he doesn't say, hey, you're tired? Busy? Figure it out. You got it. He doesn't say, clean yourself up. He doesn't say, work harder. Got to step it up. He says, come to me. Come with me. Get away with me. And he says, I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. He's not asking us to carry more. He's asking to carry it with us, right? He's asking to do the heavy lifting, to walk with him. That's very different than all those rules. Right? Religion says carry it. 613 rules. Jesus says, let's share it. Right? I love that phrase, unforced rhythms of grace. You go back and read the Gospels and look what Jesus did. You guys remember that part where Jesus said, hey, hurry up, we're really busy, let's go. I'm super tired, I ain't got time to heal anybody right now. You guys remember that part? Matt, you remember that one? No. It's not in there. Right? Jesus is never in a hurry, he's never rushed. He travels, he always has time for people. He wants to eat with people, sit down and have dinner with people. All kinds of people, right? I mean, when Jesus is eating with people, he's got the tax collectors, he's got the religious leaders, everyone's there. Everyone's invited to the party. And that's what Jesus does. Let's share it. Let's work together. Right? If I get off course, Jesus isn't mad at me. He's like, hey, back this way. Come on, let's go. This is the way we want to do it. This is the one way. Right? Paul continues in Ephesians 4 there in 22 through 24. It says, you were taught with regard to your former way of life to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Right? He said, hey, let's don't get burned out by these old ways. Let's do the things the new way. I remember Trent for Easter one time. He had a coat. I don't know if some of you guys were here remember it. He put the coat on, being clothed with Christ, being clothed in that. He didn't have to make the coat, right? He just had to allow God to let him wear it, to trust it. Thinking about that, I know a guy, and he's all the time, but what's that look like? What does that look like, putting on a new mind, right? Getting rid of the old way, the old thought, and having this new attitude, this new mindset. Again, I think it really helps if we are looking for the good news, right? We're looking for these opportunities to see grace in action and to live it out. But it's hard. Again, we took a trip this past week to the Indiana Dunes. Does anybody have someone or some people in their lives that when you hear from them, right, they reach out to you, they text you, they call you, they just want something. They just need you for something. They don't call to check on you. They don't say, anybody else? I see some people, yeah, like, I've got some people like that. Sometimes it's kind of what's going on. People I love, right? And again, I talked to them about it. My nephew. And again, I talked about this loving parent looking down at my daughter and my son and masterpiece. I look at my nephew the same way. And the reason why is I'm his parent. I raised him. I had custody of him. When Stephanie and I got married 17 years ago, right? 17 years yesterday, we had a 10-year-old. He's 27, getting ready to turn 28 years old. And he's, again, just trying to figure life out. A good kid, loving. But before we went on this trip, I was going to bring, my brother was coming over, and we were going to cook out, we were going to make steaks. And Stephanie said, hey, do you think we should invite Isaac and Allie? I was like, yeah, I'll need to thaw some more steaks. It's cool. So she reached out to them. Yeah, we're in. We're excited. We can't wait to come. So it comes time, Saturday, 6 o'clock. We're supposed to eat. A storm came, actually, kind of pushed us back a little bit with our time. But and we'd text them, even right then, day up. Yeah, okay, everything's cool. But they never showed up. They didn't text and say, hey, something came up. We can't come. So here we are, eating, wanting to be with him. I want him with me. I want to see him, love him. Again, masterpiece. But he didn't call me. On the way home from our trip, I get a text message from him that apologizes for not coming, right? He says, hey, didn't make it. We were busy, get busy and tired. And then he ended the text with LOL, right? Isn't that funny? Like you can say anything in a text now. That's the new thing. You say LOL and it works. It's just like that bless your heart. Well, bless his heart. Then you can say anything if you say bless his heart. Bless his heart. He's not real bright, but he's nice to people. I'm like, okay. That's usually what they're talking about me. But anyways, but that's the new thing, right? So he does all this. First he sends that message, and then I'm driving. Well, you're about 2 hours from home. And then right after that, he sends another one. Hey, need something, right? Made sure he apologized for standing this up before he asked for something. And I'll just be honest, guys. Like, I was a little bit angry. I was a little bit upset. It's like, come on, man, do better. Be better, right? Work harder at this relationship with me, Isaac, right? But then quickly, very quickly, I was reminded that I need grace from God when I'm not living it up, right? Or maybe I do something, right? And I get to give that grace out too. And I want him to call me when he does need something. I don't ever want to think I'm down this dead-end road and I'm stuck and I can't call Jimmy. He's going to be mad at me. It doesn't matter what. I want him. I want to be the call. I want to be the call. And again, if you know Isaac, I mean, he basically, without his glasses, he's blind. Without his contacts, he's blind. And that's what he needed. I just remember thinking, man, here I am getting a little bit mad. This guy can't see. That's kind of a whole big thing if you look at the Bible, right? Healing of the blind so people can see, right? He's got to see to be able to work. Like he's doing lawn care. He can't cut grass and weed eat with you can't see. I mean, he can't see a blade of grass, right, without his contacts. And I just remember thinking, man, I quickly, boom, took care of it, hooked him up. He needed some money to overnight some contacts. He's completely out of contacts, right? You see where I can be frustrated as a parent that's trying to help someone out. But I love him more than to be upset or to make him figure it out himself. Good luck trying to see. You're not going to have any money. You're going to just not see. Right? You'll learn your lesson. Make that mistake. I don't think so. God, too, wants to make sure that we can see. We can see that he loves us. That his grace has got us covered. We don't want to be burnt out by trying to make our own way. I just think about that. We come to this intersection, right? We see two roads. And one, it's wide. It looks like a good road. A lot of people. They're getting after it. They're working hard. Right? They're doing well. It's going to end in chaos if we just rely on our own power. See the other road. One way. It's a road that says, hey, less people are trusting this. That's hard, right? To let go and to trust. It seems narrow. But if you get on it, you're going to see grace. You're going to work with me. I got you covered. Walk with me. Unforced rhythms of grace. Moving from unbelief to belief. And again, it's not about getting up every day and working and grinding, but getting up every day and being reminded that grace is available to us. And we need it. And that there is one way. And we can get it if we take it, right, and walk with Jesus. Travel together in his spirit with his people in unforced rhythms of grace. Real peace, real rest. Please pray with me. Father, we love you and we thank you for how much that you love us. We're thankful that you have given us this gift, that the road to peace and rest is not a road that we have to cut out our own, to figure out on our own, to grind and fight, to use our own effort. Thankful that grace truly is a gift that is given freely, that you are the way to it. so much for this. I pray that you help us to trust that more and more in who you are and to see, again, who we are because of that. And that we can be people that live in peace, that have real rest, and that as we go, we get to share that with others. Pray that you help us to look for those opportunities and be reminded of your grace. Those holy moments in life. I just pray that you help us. In Jesus' name. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, seafood boil. Still summertime, still summertime.
Fall into the chasm I can't live.